shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
All right, so welcome to SUYL. This is Elias, and then I also got my family member,
Shawn Pail.
Shawn Pail's here, and we're gonna talk about some like sports pop culture stuff is more than anything else. So like we don't really touch on sports too much in this podcast, like on SUYL, but it's kind of cool because like I've had a jiu-jitsu fighter on here, like my buddy. And my business partner Josh, he loves UFC, so like there's elements of sports that are like important to the podcast and stuff like that. Can you get that out of the way?
Oh yeah.
And so like so there's like elements of sports that are like important to like the whole thing that's like monkey mouths podcasting kind of thing. So we're excited about it. So we're not gonna start off with sports. We're actually gonna start off with. I don't know, man. Like, so he's a trash human, but he's like he garners a lot of favor with like incels and like MGTOWs. So you know what MGTOWs and incels are, right?
It sounds like
an
insult.
So like, okay, so incels are involuntary celibate men, you know. So it's like people who aren't getting sex, but it's not their choice. Like they blame women for a lot of their problems, right? And then MGTOWs, I think, stand for men going their own way. And it seems to be the same men who are incels are MGTOWs. I have heard that some MGTOWs do garner some favor with, like, I guess, mainstream men because they fight for rights in, like, courtrooms and stuff like that for fathers who are trying to get, like, custody of their kids. It doesn't make it right. It's just, like, they're, you know, a broken clock's, like, right twice a day. So, like... The real issue that we were going to come across is that they canceled Andrew Tate, which like it's a double-edged sword for me, right? You agree?
I agree. He's an idiot.
Well, he is an idiot, but it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because like, okay, you can't like you hide these things, you sweep them under the rug, and it only festers. You know?
In today's culture,
you
can't talk about beating women up and just do whatever I say.
Yeah.
You gotta take it.
Yeah.
That man, women ain't going for that nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, so, but it's just like you can't hide these things either.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like shine light on it, and also you have to tell like 3 or 4 of our podcasts when it was like me and some other people. Like it was like one of them was just like me and Josh, and we were trying to talk about like the whole thing with I wouldn't say like low value males, but just like doing your hardest to not get red pilled. I mean, it seems like you're married, newly married.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got kids.
Yeah.
You're now part of my family. But it seems like men like your age, which you're younger than me, but men your age and men my age seem to be getting out of the dating game, and they seem to be blaming women for it instead of fixing themselves, right?
I feel like, especially my age range, there's a confusion between being a simp and man, respecting women is lame and all. Like, bro, back in the day, you know, when men were men, you know, you took care of your family. That's all you really lived for. That was the cool thing to do.
I think that there's this confusion for when people say when men were men. It's that same thing of like the good old days, right?
Yeah.
There's no such thing, right?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the good old days because it's always subjugating something.
Yeah, there's little ugly things within everything.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you know, the base frame of, you know, you find you a good lady or man or whatever, you give you some kids, and you just live a happy life together, you know, help each other out.
Well, I think that these men are confused with healthy relationships and mothers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they want this, like, magic thing that's going to fix them. But I'm sorry, man. You smell like ass. You don't take particularly good care of yourself. You're not hygienic. You're not, and everything is their fault. Well, I'm not hygienic because women have done that. Or I'm not, like, I don't have a good enough job because of X. I'm not getting women because of, you know, Y. So to me, it's like none of them really take responsibility for themselves. And one thing that I can even say, like, when you listen to Andrew Tate, a lot of it is like, well, you know, it seems to be like there's this interesting thing, right? I was listening to this woman on TikTok talk about like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and some other like female rappers talking about how they tell women to get the bag and stay single, right? But they're married with kids, or they have men, or they're in long-term relationships. So it seems like they have particularly Andrew Tate's in their community too.
The way I see it as, they're not speaking for 30-year-old women, 40-year-old women. They're speaking for young girls.
Yeah.
That are in college, that are in high school, that are living that lifestyle.
Man, because like that music translates across the board.
Oh yeah, that's like Future's. Yeah. Future ain't drunk lean in years. Yeah. Still talk about it because that's what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, the woman seemed to be about past 25, and she's talking about like how Megan Thee Stallion. Well, I think she said Cardi B, because like Cardi B is always about like get your bag. Men ain't shit. And then she's out here with her boyfriend.
Oh yeah, Offset.
Offset, thank you. He's out there with Offset, living a somewhat conventional life. Not really chasing the bag. She's already got it.
That's a lot. I think that's more than 50% of rappers give off that illusion of the lifestyle they used to live. Yeah. Maybe not per se where they are right now in the current time.
Well, like so even let's talk about like. What's his name? Like, God dang it. I'm trying to think of what's that. It's Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
So like Jay-Z was completely honest about it, right? Like he doesn't lie about it per se, because he's like, no, I made my nut and I got out. Now he can reminisce about it in some music videos, like one that I don't exactly want to say the word, but like he can reminisce about it and be like, oh, I should have taken this money that I got from the streets and rolled it into buying certain parts of New York City. Then I would have made, instead of $1 million, I could have made $100 million. Instead of $100 million, I could have invested in art and made $200 million. So he's kind of like this person who doesn't relish in the fact that he came from slinging, drugs and being, living on the other side of, I guess what I would say is the right side. But honestly, I think for these people, it was where they needed to be at the time to get where they are now, right?
Oh yeah.
So you can listen to stuff like that, but what I'm trying to say is like that you hear a lot of condemnation about Andrew Tate, which he completely deserves. But you also get like Cardi B saying she drugged men, and took their wallets, and like. So, and she is kind of uncancelable to a sense where like she's an industry, Andrew Tate was trying to get to that, but in essence, he's not important enough. Like he doesn't garner the same favor.
Cardi B fans, they have money. Yeah, they're grown ups.
Yeah,
Andrew Tate fans are kids. Yeah. Like they really have no power. Like, oh, it's cool because he has a Bugatti and he has guns and all that.
Well, it's definitely like it's a false sense of like importance, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not important in the United States. He had to move.
That's why.
He's not important in the United States. He's important in like
Romania.
And he's built up garner and favor over there, and like talks about the things over here and how he couldn't, he couldn't hustle here. But there's so many people that have hustled here that were in similar.
Or worse background.
Than he was, So to me, it's just like, I just feel like when you cancel someone, you're going to get that Trump effect, right? You're going to get that it's going to become more alluring. More people are going to want to know about Andrew Tate.
They won't stop it.
Yeah.
He can just go to a different platform.
Well, I mean, even though it won't stop it, like they've got young men, like let's say 15 to like 20, who are just consistently sharing it on TikTok. And it's just like, now it's a game of whack-a-mole. Like, you're never going to be able to stop it, right? You're never going to be able to...
His philosophy and teaching have already... They're already out.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to... so you're never going to be able to stop it because, like, now you're playing a game of whack-a-mole, right? So you're playing a game of, like, where is Andrew Tate going to show up next? And it's not even going to be him. It's going to be, like, a bot service run through, like, you know... a dead email account that some person made up. The
only thing that will kind of counterbalance an Andrew Tate type philosophy is if a Jay-Z, an Offset, someone with real star power really did kind of pull back the curtains to their real life. Like, hey man, I was out here, you know, I had the women, I had them when I had the drug.
Yeah.
But when I settled down with one woman, you know, she got me where I needed to be and kept me there. Like,
well, it also doesn't. I mean, I'm not particularly hating on anyone per se, but it also there's I don't know, because like this stuff is so prevalent on like the YouTube and like algorithm. It really does get frustrating because like you don't have like you're flicking through like Facebook algorithm like videos or YouTube videos and you're consistently running into this like misogynistic. Misogynistic videos, and there's this one woman, and she seems to be kind of like, I don't know, she's like this like pale like white woman who's like telling women that she's like giving statistics and basically saying like the more women that you sleep with, the less likely you're going to be able to settle down, and she's just basically going on about certain things that I guess she's learned in classes and stuff that she's taken. But she's also getting that same kind of like value as like Andrew Tate, and we were talking about Kevin Samuels, and you actually like Kevin Samuels. Like I wouldn't say you like him, but you
Kevin Samuels, he's more on the right vein. Like I feel like he's more rough about his message. Like he has a good message, but he goes about it in a rough way. You know, R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. He has some good stuff. Like certain women. They hold us up to a higher pedestal than in the real world they should be, and that's social media,
Well, it's not just social media. It's also the men that garner favor to women because, like I said, and I've said it in previous podcasts, when men particularly think that sex is this like end all be all of women, they don't know the small nuances of how important it is to just spend a day.
Or even the men that mostly say, "Oh, sex is everything," they're buying it.
Yeah,
and that's how you get the famous Instagram girls that get to go to Dubai and all that. Kevin Samuels, he used to preach some message. These girls that want that.
I mean, he bought women.
Oh
too.
yeah. He used to preach, these girls that want to go to Dubai and want a man to make $100,000. He got to sell dope. He got to do all this and kind of fund me. He was like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with the 9 to 5 man. Y'all kind of getting them lost in the sauce on, what's an obtainable thing. If you run across a millionaire type man, that's good for you. But don't downgrade the brother that's just, doing, the average American dream.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that, like, I think when it comes to it, these certain men, not all men, because you're married, you have a family, but some men in your age range, and the worst part is even in my age range, I'm 35, and we have these lost men who think that sex is the end all be all, but at the end of the day, it's going to the grocery store, it's splitting responsibilities, it's just sitting down, watching TV, and you have someone like Andrew Tate, who takes the little things and makes them seem disgusting beneath him. Yeah. Right? He's like, well, no, I want to smoke cigars and fuck bitches. And then I think that there's this there's like, men, you'll hear men will like, I want women to be women again, and I just want them to be feminine, or I just want this, or I just want that. But in the same breath, they're like, man, all these women are good for sex, and it's just like, well, you're losing the sauce again.
Yeah, you gotta have that same energy for yourself. If you want your woman to clean and cook and all that, or are you cooking and cleaning, or if she work, you work. Yeah. You tired at the work, why she can't be tired at the work?
Yeah, and there was I watched that Married at First Sight, right? It's like a television show on TLC, which no longer has anything to do with the Learning Channel. It's just a bunch of like
weird shows,
horrible like reality-based television. There was these two couples, and there was this couple, and he was like this. attractive looking black guy, right? And he was with, I think, a very attractive young lady, right? And they were both very good looking people. And he's like, he tells her, I want you to cook for me. I want you to, I want food when I get home from work or when I get off work. I want all this, I want all that. And it was all I want, and not about, but what can we do together? What can I do? And so one of them, she was working from home. And so he's like, well, I don't understand, why you're so, you can't, I want the house clean, and it's not like you're doing anything. And then it's like, well, no, she's working. Even if you feel like she's not doing anything because she's working from home, she still has to clock in. It's still a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Even if it's sitting in front of a computer, even if it's not exactly what you would consider. There's so many jobs that are not manual labor anymore, even for a lot of men, right? Yeah. So it's just if this is a manual labor and this is labor intensive. What I do here, when you leave, I'll be in here for 3 hours, editing, cutting, putting music on it, uploading it to YouTube, and that sounds like such a bitch made, right?
Everybody can't do it.
Yeah, but it sounds bitch made because you're just oh man, look at this kid, he's complaining and he's doing all this stuff, right?
Hey, my favorite thing, let's see your ass do it then.
Yeah,
if it's so easy.
Well, there's a funny thing that I listen to, I keep referring to things that I've heard, but that's where you get the information that you can refer on, right? And it was I think it was Florida Georgia Line, or it was one of those bro country guys, right? And so it might have actually not even been them. I think it was they sing they were real popular back in the day, and I don't think they're together. Rascal Flatts. It might have been Rascal Flatts. And so they're remarking on how everybody hates bro country, right? Everybody hates bro country, and it's just about trucks and women and beer. And the guy's so everybody's like, oh man, it'd be so easy to write a summer song. And that guy's like, well then do it. If you want to bitch about country, if you want to bitch about bro country, and you think you can write the song, and you think you make $100 million,
then do it.
Then do it. And I think even what's that one guy? Man, I used to hate him. I used to think that he was a joke. I used to hate Lil Yachty. Right? I hated Lil Yachty. Couldn't understand it. Couldn't get behind Lil Yachty. I thought he was a joke. And then I'm listening to when he's on the boat and he's singing that song on him on the boat in the ocean, and I was like, is this a joke? But I ended up falling in love with Lil Yachty because he came at that one guy who, do you know who I'm talking about? He's he made one hit. He's always hating on.
What Lil Yachty got? He got personality.
Yeah, I can't think of this guy's name, but he has one hit. He said something. They said something about him being into dogs or something. It was real crazy shit. You know who I'm talking about?
Man, I ain't even heard of that.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking. You don't know who I'm talking about? He did an interview with this guy, right? And he was like, I just don't he's telling Yachty, I just don't understand why you're always happy. You're always smiling. Why are you always happy? Something's gotta make you sad. And Lil Yachty's like, I just bought my mom a house.
And he might. Yeah,
he's like, I just bought my mom a house. What do I have to be sad about? And he's like, well, I think it's a front. I think that you're they have to be sad about something. He's like, how old are you?
I'm 22.
He's like, I'm 20. I'm at the time.
I'm 22 and I'm a multi-millionaire.
He's like, yeah, I think it was 19 at the time. He's like, I'm 19. I done bought my mom a house. He's like, I've already done all the things that you're supposed to do for your family at 19. He's like, so what do I have to be sad about? And why do you want me to be sad?
Because he never reached the success Lil Yachty did, so he just hating on him.
Exactly, right? And that's the same thing, right? So sad men are mad because you reach success. I'm sure there's people that, and no offense to you, Shawn Pail, I'm sure there's plenty of men out there who hate Shawn Pail because they got April and they got the life, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say.
Oh no, you good?
Yeah,
hey.
But they got our, you got the life, and you got the kids, and you got the American dream. And I'm sure there's plenty of men out there who are like, man, I don't want that.
The way I best break it down to my friends, my friends, they're still in their stage. You can go out, you can party, you can go to the club. Y'all get to where I'm at later on. Yeah. We're on the same path. Yeah. I know y'all eventually, y'all have a wife, y'all have kids. Y'all just haven't reached that level yet. When I found the one, I wanted kids, I have them. I'm cool. When I'm 30, 40, I would have already raised my kids. They'll be going off. Yeah. Then we got a whole back end of when we really have success and are really settled on where we need to be.
Well, there's this. I told my business partner about this, and it's definitely some good advice if you're gonna take this advice. And it was just like, you have this man on the beach, right, and he's catching one fish a day, and he's feeding his wife and kids, right. And this rich guy comes across him, and he goes, "Dude, why are you only catching one fish a day?" He's like, "You go out there, you catch 20, 30 fish." He goes, "You sell those fish on the market." He goes, "You go out, you get yourself a boat." He goes, "Then you catch more fish. Then you go out and you get another boat. You get more fish." He goes, "Then you go out and you get a fleet of boats." He goes, "And then you're catching you're catching a bunch of fish." He goes, you sell that business on the stock market. You become public." He goes, "And then you can retire on the beach." He goes, "And you can sit down with your family." And the guy's saying, "I'm already sitting down with my family, and I just got one fish." You know? And it's just like we're both like you said, we're both heading in the same direction. You're just taking a longer path. Like, you're eventually gonna be able to sit on the beach with your family. I'm already here, and it just took one fish. That's it.
That's a whole lot better when you 40-some years old. So you can go on a cruise. My kid's grown. You still gonna be taking your kids to elementary school. Still got to go through that whole phase.
Because I'm 35 and it's cutting it close for me. I mean, men can have kids whenever, but I gotta find, like, if I'm gonna stick with somebody in my age range with my same, like, I wouldn't say my same maturity level because I'm pretty immature, but my same like life level, like, I gotta find someone 30 to 45. You know.
Hey, just when you're looking.
Yeah.
Don't just look for looks, because eventually everybody get old, the looks fade away.
So, like, to me, it ain't about looks. Like, I don't really care either way about, like, we're all a tad bit shallow. I ain't gonna lie. Like, looks are important to everybody, but to say, like, that's the end all be all. What's important to me is so that's why I like it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm looking for the opposite. I'm looking for the same thing but in a woman. So I'm looking for what April found in you, which was someone who just fits in. Like, everyone, like, at the end of the day, you just fit in, and it's a good thing, right? So, like, you fit in. You when Easter rolls around or when Christmas rolls around, it's just so easy. Yeah. And it's the same thing with my brother-in-law. When my brother-in-law rolled through, it's so easy. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that so that when holidays roll around, it's just easy. I'm talking about they can come in and people are excited for that person to be in the room. When Shawn Pail's here, I enjoy talking to you. It's fun. You know, it's fun. It's a good time. I know that when Shawn Pail enters the room, or when, you know, my brother-in-law enters the room, like, I'm gonna get hugs. We're gonna talk about the day. We're gonna spread nothing but love. And I don't want somebody who's gonna come in and just be like, you know, knocking shit over like a cat.
That's a very important dynamic. Yeah. When you find that somebody, make sure your families at least get along.
Yeah, and
they don't have to love each other. Yeah. They at least got to get along.
Yeah, and that's important too, right? Because I think a lot of people are like, well, it's like it has to end with everybody loving, like, everybody, you know. But you can at least, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Worst thing you could do is tear somebody away from their family.
Yeah.
Unless their family's just trash and no good for them.
Unless you're trying to build your own family, right? Unless at the end of the day that family dynamic never worked for y'all, and now you're the start of something better and something new. Yeah. You know, like, what I can say about, you know, certain families are built off of that generation that starts to that day, you know. Yeah. So, like, if you're not particularly good with your family, not particularly good with the situation you're in, you can be that change that people want, or people are going to be happy with. You can teach your kids to be better, you know, teach your son to be a better man, teach your daughter to be, you know, a stronger woman, or, you know, not following the same.
That's how you get them Andrew Tates and them IG girls, right? It all starts at home.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem though too, right? Is that there's so many. With anything, like, you grew up inundated with computer programs like MySpace, Facebook. You were
whole life.
Your whole life. Like me, I was born in '87, so it was a subtle entry into, like, AOL chat rooms, which I never really got into, you know, and then other stuff like, you know, platform like I forget what they call them, but just like web post messaging pages and just different things like that were there. And then you had like MySpace and then Facebook, and then it just turned into a big monster, right? YouTube, all these things. I at least got to see the subtle growth of it, and there's a particular time in my life where that stuff wasn't even important. It didn't exist. Like for you, like the joke is that every person from like now from like let's say like 18 to 30 are gonna have horrible stuff on the internet. We just have to learn to let it go. We just have to learn to let people be people.
That's a key thing. I think cancel culture is too quick. You're not allowed to make mistakes now. Yeah. Like, if you could go back on Twitter when somebody was 12 years old, he don't feel the same way as a 30, 40-year-old grown man now.
Well, the thing is that growth is one of those things that, like, is very odd, right, when it comes to seeing it on the internet, right? Because you get to see growth in real time. But I'm not the person I was at 25, and I'm definitely not the person I was at 18.
Imagine the things that you would have said.
Well, not even that.
That might have been just completely off the wall thinking. Not saying it'd be some horrible thing.
But that's what I'm saying. But not even the stuff you said. But just living your everyday life is cancelable in a lot of ways. Like literally, my dad living a life in like in 90s and 80s culture is completely, it's not healthy. It's there's a lot of like things wrong with it. But the thing is that you can drag somebody or you can walk them along, and you can tell them it's going to be hard and we're going to have to learn to grow with this. But if you start dragging people, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get them digging in. You're going to get them fighting back. Like the one thing that I can say about my father is that he's pretty open-minded. He's pretty understanding. He doesn't get it all the time, but he's not someone to be like the good thing about him is there's not hate in his heart to harshen him to the reality that things are going to change.
The way the world is going, it'd be horrible to be a racist. Like by the year 2050, I'm sorry, more people will look like me than Mikey. It will be the popular thing. Like nobody will really be, I'm just white, actually, I'm just Mexican or anything like that.
It'll be this like neutral half cream.
It'll look like my kids.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's gonna be. This cream.
You don't know what they are. Are they white? Are they black? Mexican? I don't know. It depends how you did their hair today. You don't know what they are.
Depends on how you did their hair. It's true though. I mean, like, I like watching those. Am I the Asshole? You like listening to those?
Oh yeah, I like those.
And there was this one that was like, I'm pregnant with a child that I wasn't expecting. And so I had the choice to give it. I'm giving it up to adoption to my sister. My sister has 2 kids of her own, and she also, I guess, she fosters children, or she has 2 adopted children. And so she's like, it only makes sense for my sister, who's already established with a family, to take my daughter. Well, I guess her husband is white passing, right? So he's not as dark as. He's white passing. We all know what that is, right? Yeah. And so what ends up happening is this friend of hers who's incapable of having children tells her she would like to adopt the baby, and that it's so hard to find white babies out there that it just seems like it's perfect for her because this baby it's white. It's a white baby. Not knowing that, man, she just insulted that woman because her husband, the person she's been around this whole time with, isn't white. And now she just put her foot in her mouth, and she's like, well, I don't want her to be around this woman because she's seeing that. Just sounds racist. That sounds really, really, really ugly. Like, I only want this kid because it's white well, she didn't know it was white passing, but it's white, and I don't want to go through the adoption agency and get a non-white baby. But it's just like, all children deserve love. Why does this particular child have to be white? All children deserve a safe place to call home. Mm-hmm. And yet now she's putting restrictions on it. You
put the restrictions on. You never know what you might be passing up on. You may raise the person who cures cancer or does great things just because you didn't like what color he was.
It just seems strange. So we kind of got off topic, but we were talking about Kevin Samuels. He's passed away now. It seems like the woman he was with was was someone he probably would have been chastising on an Instagram live.
Oh yeah.
And Andrew Tate, he's a joke, but he's a joke that got serious real quick. And it doesn't help that when you hide the when you put when you make things a taboo, when you make things that seem more like alluring than it actually is, you're attracting people, you're not detracting them, right? Well, people voted for Donald Trump because he was the person who was going to change things in the political sphere. Andrew Tate tells people he's going to change things in the relationship sphere. He wants women to be women again. He wants men to be men. But the thing is that there's that is the same aspect of the good old days.
The dude who talk about Andrew Tate, if you did the things that Andrew Tate tells you to do, what if you had a daughter, would you want her to date somebody like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no.
No, I'm saying like exactly.
Yeah, like I feel you like no, like you wouldn't want that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that. And the thing is that if you do want that, then there's a bigger issue at hand because, you know, you give off the energy you get, right? And I hear like there's this like new saying out there that's really got me messed up, right? And it's just like one of those things. The more you think about it, it just seems really weird. But it was like men are sexually attracted to women, but they're emotionally attracted to men, right? And they were talking about a lot of these like newer generation, like they're hating women and they just want to spend time with the boys, and they're not sexually attracted to men, so they're on the Keyesian scale, they're not fully homosexual. But
I feel like that type of thinking is like you might get along better with your friends at that younger age. Cause your friends will co-sign you to do some dumb stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Like if a good girl will tell you like, "Oh no, don't do that. Don't sell drugs. Don't jump off that bridge." But your friend like, "Oh yeah, dog, go ahead, go do it."
Yeah.
You like how that feels. You rather just be wrong with them than have her be right with her.
Yeah. Well, and I think like there's this like TikTok on there that was like, why do men revert to like regress to acting like boys and children when they're with their guy friends? And I don't think that it's I don't think it's regression. I just think it's a place where we can be vulnerable.
It's a primal thing.
Yeah, it's a
like
thing
it's just a primal thing where it's like, oh, you can only get this feeling with these like-minded people like you. Like when you used to go to war, you used to go out with spears and go hunt. You know, you can't recreate that with women, no matter how close you are to them.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that there's different kinds of battles, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go into like you can build a house, build generational wealth. That's a battle in itself.
You can go to work. You can go play basketball.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying like you could go into battle with a woman, but it's a different kind of battle, right? Like building generational wealth, that's a battle in itself.
Yeah.
Raising 3 kids, that's a battle in itself.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, you know, there's also a different aspect to it, right? Where it's just like you're not having to like there's culture check yourself.
To me, right? there's just a little flame in men that we can do this because our flames are so similar to each other. You know, this podcast is very popular because we have similar flames to each other. Where it's like, we can do this together.
Yeah. So we were gonna jump from Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate. There's another one out there that I don't really care. I don't care. I made this. I showed it to you. I made Inceltron. It was like Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and I can't think of the other guy's name. But anyways, like let's I wanted to jump to this guy. I'm not a big sports fanatic, so I don't know anything. But like, let's jump from one horrible man to another person who doesn't seem to be any better. Now he's got 11 games suspension and how much money? Is it $1 million?
$5 million.
$5 million.
Oh no, there's more to that.
I mean, okay, so that's why you're here, because I'm like, I like pop culture, but I'm not in sports pop culture, so I don't know about like so he essentially got called out for
sexual harassment.
Right?
25 women. Here's some backstory. So Sean Watson, he went to the owner of the team and said, you know what, y'all been mistreating me. I want to get traded. Like, I don't want to play here no more. Very rich man, very powerful man. Couple weeks later, comes out 25 women.
So you think that there's a little bit...
I think it's a little funny bit. I'm not going to say, these women are lying or nothing like that. I don't know the full story. Just how it kind of unfolded was kind of funny to me. So you're thinking that, so essentially that it could be... there's a... When a business copies another business model and they go in, it's called like corporate espionage, right? It's like they're basically spying on the other business to get as close to possible, but without stepping on a lot of legal toes to get to where they're going. This is essentially the same thing. What's this guy's name again? Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson became a business, right? He became an industry.
So
he's stepping away, and like with any industry, you step away from the industry you're good at. You step away from the NFL, and now you've got corporate entities trying to take you down.
So when he left, these 25 women came out of nowhere, basically, and they all filed their lawsuits under this very famous lawyer in Houston.
Okay.
The lawyer lives right next door to the owner.
To the owner of the football team.
That basically he was like, oh man, I want to leave. Oh, okay. Hey, y'all hit on my homeboy. So my theory is these women, these encounters he's had, they've been going on for a while. 25 women just don't pop up out of nowhere. And I feel like the owner has somewhat hushed it.
Yeah.
Till he said, "Oh, I want to leave." Okay, now I'm gonna bring it back out on you.
It could just be like keeping them in arm's length, so at any given time, when things are gonna get when he can step away, he could just keep this thing on the back burner of because like you said, you're not saying
almost like some blackmail.
Well, you're not saying these women are lying. You're just saying that they were hushed.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, at the end of the day, I'm the person that's hushing them. I'm the person that's giving these people. I'm writing them checks, and the checks stop today, and I'm gonna tell them to come forward.
Hey, go holler at my homeboy next door. He get you right.
And then the thing is just like now I've given you consistent things to keep quiet, but now you can look for a bigger payday.
Yeah, cause now, you want to leave me? Okay, well you gonna have hell looking for somebody to take you when they find out about all this dirt.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of those things, right? It's just like you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Money muddies things up, right? It muddies the water. And then you have people who are consistently making sure that it's okay for you to make money, but you have to make money through me, right? I mean, that's any industry though, right? I mean, it's just like when Suge Knight was holding people out of windows or threatening people with just a sheer, ability to look scary, it's the same thing, right? Well, his was a little bit more like...
The thing about Deshaun is a very special, very rare case in the NFL. Like, in the NFL, to be successful, you have to have the quarterback right. Mm-hmm. If you have anything else, if you have this is like... the golden ticket. Yeah. Well, he's a very young, very good golden ticket. When you get one of these, it's something you don't never let go. It's
who's the guy from what's it called? Louisiana that everybody loves, the Saints.
Oh, Drew Brees?
Drew Brees.
See, Drew Brees, he was one of them golden tickets, but he had like a little tear in it because he was coming off an injury. Yeah. Deshaun, no injuries. Yeah. He's everything you could want, it was him. Yeah. And he knows, the owner knew, if you want out, anybody will pay anything to get you. So I'm going to just make it a little bit harder for you on your way out.
Yeah. So do you think he could win the case? Do you think that, there's enough?
Oh, he settled with, 23 of them.
Oh, wow.
He settled out of court, and then the NFL...
So do you think settling out of court, though, is a good thing? I mean, honestly, do you? I'm not trying to say that he's guilty. What I'm trying to say is that, at the end of the day, when you settle out of court, you leave ambiguity. It leaves it to be ambiguous. So you have ambiguity. Yeah, I can't say that word. You leave it ambiguous. Essentially, no one knows per se if you're innocent or guilty, right?
That was always one thing. If these women just popped out, if I was a woman and I was sexually harassed by a man or assaulted or whatever, I would want to see him all the way through.
This is the issue that I have with that, right? And this is the thing that I try and tell people, right? Is that you're coming at this with the strength of a man.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but you're coming with this as the strength of a man. So to you, it's like, man, I don't understand how these women can allow this to fester and how they can move forward. But at the end of the day, this man, you're not ever going to forgive, you're not ever going to forget, but you're just going to move on, because at the end of the day, there's worse. They can do so much worse to you, right? You were injured physically, you were injured emotionally, but you as a person are alive, and now you're like, well, now I've got to carry this stuff. I've got to carry this heavy burden with me my entire life, and I probably won't ever tell anybody, but at least I'm alive, and that's that, you know. And so we can come at it with all the intentions of the world as being like looking at it through as a man. It's easy to say I wouldn't let this shit happen to me because you're a man.
Oh no, not per se though. Happen to me. I just would have wanted to see, like, I want to see him go to jail or something like that.
Though, but that's what I'm saying. You want to see it all the way through, but there's just I'm saying that's looking at it through the strength of someone who, like, what I'm trying to say is that's the strength of someone that it hasn't happened to, right?
Yeah.
And you'll never, and we'll never be in I'll never be in a vulnerable state. I'll never be in that kind of vulnerable sensibility.
Yeah.
Walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll never know what it's like to have to ask somebody to walk me to my car. I'll never have to do that. But I've been asked to do that. I've been, hey, can you walk me to my vehicle?
Oh yeah.
It's dark out. Or hey, can you hold my purse for me? Or can you hold my wallet for me? Because, you know, it's the X, Y, and Z. You know. So it's just like, it's easy for people to be like, oh man, I want to see this guy go to jail. I want to see this go through. When some women are just like, I don't even want to be around this. I want that part of me to disappear, you know?
See, that was one thing with it. Like, if you did feel that way, why bring it back up?
Well, I mean, also you got to understand that it's easy to get, it's hard to get the ball rolling. It's easier to say, like think about it like this. There was this case, I think it was in Chicago. It was like way back, like, I say way back, but it was like in the 70s or maybe even like the 60s, where this woman got murdered in broad daylight. Like, she literally got stabbed in broad daylight. And there was like 20 people that saw it. And no one stopped to help her, right? And nobody could even recognize the person who did it, right? And then there's this, so that person, like that was a cold case that I don't think ever really got solved. But then you have someone who's on a subway who's getting verbally harassed, right? Or verbally assaulted. And one person steps in. That one special person steps in, and now the other person steps in, and now another person steps in, and then another person. So now you have 5 people stepping in because one person did it. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that being is because we're creatures who are still, like you said, it's that fire in our heart. It's very primal. So it's easy for us to feel validated and able to work together. If I see you helping a man, if I see a man drowning or a woman drowning, and I see you jump in the lake to go save her, I'm more inclined to jump in and be like, oh, that's, you know, Shawn Pail's trying to help that person. Now I need to help Shawn Pail help that person. And then they're like, oh man, Elias is out there. I need to help Elias help Shawn Pail help to get that person. It's the same thing. Yeah. The woman sees a lifeline of this guy literally getting hit, like getting the justice that was so far away and so unattainable by one person. Now it's easy because now she's that second person, and then there's that third person, that fifth person. So to say that, oh man, I just don't, it's hard to be that first person.
Yeah.
It really is. It's hard to speak up because, and it's also hard to speak up because women have this really strange thing that men don't have, where they want to, I saw it, I don't know how to explain it, but they think being polite and nice is going to somehow change the situation, you know? So you'll find that women, if a man's flirting with a woman and they feel uncomfortable, a woman can't walk away. She'll essentially she'll essentially let him make her uncomfortable for as long as possible, just for the hope that he'll go away. So she'll laugh at his jokes. She may give him a fake number. She may even allow him to buy her a drink. And then you'll have this one guy be like, well, I just don't understand why you couldn't just tell him to leave you alone. Because there's always this undertone of violence, right?
Yeah, to me, I just hate the word settlement.
Yeah.
Because whenever I hear settlement, it's like, why settle? Like, it feels like you're almost putting a price on pain. Like, I done went through all this. Oh, I got some money out of it, so I guess it's not too bad.
Yeah. But also on top of that, there's people who are going to mainly focus on the money aspect of settling, right? But you also got to think about it as, if I sue a chemical industry, if I get a class action lawsuit to sue a chemical industry that's poisoning the water or has made my entire family sick, that chemical industry isn't going to go away tomorrow. It isn't going to go away in a year. And I should, and they're gonna sign me out a check. I still got sick. I still got cancer. I had a family member that died from it. It doesn't change the fact. So like, this guy's an industry. It's not going to change anything. Well, so you can take the settlement and you can understand that he's an industry, or you can just like.
See, to me, they had the advantage of, like, you had top-notch lawyer. You got these cases, pennies.
He did though, and he also.
Oh yeah, he got the same ammo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, and you're going off of the promise of somebody whose only intention is to hurt that person. So now you're kind of you're in a rock and a hard place, right? Because the only reason you're getting your justice is because a particular man wasn't satisfied with he was having seller's remorse instead of buyer's remorse, So to me, it's just like, and there's still that tinge of violence. Like, you don't know what this man can do.
This might even make you more angry. Yeah. This would have put. So he goes through that. He settles them.
Yeah.
Goes out. Hey, Cleveland Browns. Hey, Shawn. We know you got these allegations. We don't care nothing about that, cause you that golden ticket we need. In football, it's a big thing. Guaranteed money. So no matter what, you get this money. We got 5 years, $230 million with your name on it, my boy. And you know what we gonna do to sweeten the deal? We're just gonna backload it. So we know they probably gonna suspend you and take some money from you the first year. So we'll only pay you $10 million. Yeah. But second, third, fourth year, $40 million, $50 million, $55 million. That's all you.
Yeah.
And what's 11 games? See, 11 games, $5 million. That's it.
Yeah.
He still feels like he has there was no real
consequences.
Consequences to what he did.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
in the big picture of.
That's what I'm trying to say is, like, he's an industry.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can't fault these women for being like, I guess I'm gonna have to settle. Oh, well, all they were just in it for the money. They're not like. That's what I'm saying. He's an industry. I'm not gonna be able to take down a chemical industry that poisoned my family, but I could do like death by 1,000 cuts, or I can at least hurt them somehow.
They even had an outside judge. She was a female. She overlooked the case, and she was like, "I'll give him 6 games." Yeah. And it was kind of like, 6 games, that's it. Yeah. And she said, like, I can only give him 6 because that's how you've been handling these cases for years. Yeah. Pointing the finger back at them, we can't really make too much of it because you have been making too much of it. And that kind of put the NFL in a bad light. Like, oh man, we have been jumping the ball.
Who was that guy who just like beat the ever living dog shit out of that woman, hit her with the TV?
Oh, Kareem Hunt a couple years ago kicked a girl in the head.
Yeah. Oh, that one who beat the shit out of that woman in the elevator.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of them. Ray Rice. Yeah. Ray Rice was the only one that it was saw, and it was kind of like, oh man, we got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt kicked a girl in the head. Greg Hardy, he beat his wife up, threw her on a bed of assault rifles. But you know what? The boy got 13.5 sacks, so I need that. He can still play.
Yeah.
Got him a whole bunch of new money, and it just.
You'll be surprised, like, football might be dark, but you know where the real dark stuff is, man, is in the WWE.
Yeah,
there's some dark stuff in the WWE.
They say talent and tolerance go hand in hand. Yeah. We'll tolerate you for as long as your talent lasts.
So the funny thing is like, speaking of talent, we were gonna kind of like walk into the Britney Griner. Britney Grinner. So me and you kind of lived in. We had this same kind of thing where we agreed, but we didn't agree, right? Like, we agreed that when you step into a different culture, and you know better. And that's the problem. It's just like, you know better. Like, just don't give them a reason. Like, don't ever give someone the reason. And I think it was like 5 cartridges.
She should especially know.
Yeah, it's 5 cartridges.
You're a black woman in America, so you already know you don't get the same rules and privileges as everybody else.
And then what pissed me off is like all these good old boys were, she kneeled for the anthem, so fuck her. And it's just like, no. The great thing about it is that she can kneel here for the anthem. Yeah. You know? She can do anything that pisses you off about Britney Grinner. She was more than welcome to do in the United States. Mm-hmm. She relinquished those rights when she set ground on foreign soil that's not welcoming to those things. And although you may have assumed that the thing is that people think because you criticize the United States that you don't love it. No. And the funny thing is that the more you're critical of something, the more you can love it. I want it to be better. Man. Me criticizing something means that I want you to be better.
My thing is, not everybody lives in the same United States.
Well, that's the sad state of affairs. Yeah. But even as sports players, right? We just admitted this, talent.
Hey, in the sports world, the world ain't fair. Yeah. That's the cold truth about it. It ain't fair.
Yeah, and I think that people assume that it's divided through color when it's really divided through wealth. Right, wealth inequality.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of little category, wealth, color, ability, and all that.
Cause like, I'm in every sense of the ability. I don't act traditionally Hispanic. I don't really care for Mexican music. The only thing really Hispanic about me is my love of the food. I like the culture. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Mexican music. I love, the food. I love the culture. But I don't express it. I don't express my love of the culture. My culture is assimilated through a lot of just your average, just normal American sensibility. Like, it's kind of funny. If Everybody Loves Raymond's on, or George Lopez is on, I'm gonna watch Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't particularly know why. It's just the way that if Michael Salgado is singing, or it's a song from like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone who's like a male singer, like that's just kind of like a male singer. Usher. I'm gonna listen to Usher, and I know that like it's just the way or I'm trying to think of like a white singer. I can't think of like a particularly white singer, like Michael Bolton. Not really, because he's like 80s. But like if there's like an 80s song coming on that was like Africa, or like a Toto from Africa, or like Vicente Fernandez is singing, I'm gonna listen to Toto from Africa. It's just like that's where my comfort level stays. But like my family, my parents, they'll listen to like they're culturally like ambiguous because they're Texans, they're not Mexicans. They've been here for 8 generations.
There's a difference. Yeah, your age, your upbringing, everything. You see the world completely different. Like.
So to me, I think my culture is more Caucasian leaning. I like Family Guy. I like Rick and Morty. Doesn't mean that other like Black and Hispanic people and Asian people can't like these things. I'm just saying these are traditionally Caucasian inspired things.
I love some good 21 Savage, some 50 Cent. Yeah. I get down on some Miley Cyrus. I get down on some Kesha.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The music is. You culturally or whatever you're around.
We'll get back to Britney Griner, but what upsets me in my 30s now, and like getting into my mid 30s, is this like weird thing about cultural appropriation through food, because I love to cook.
I've seen that.
So it kind of upsets me whenever it's not cultural appreciation instead of cultural appropriation. Because there was this like really interesting story. It's like 5 years old. These like 2 white women go down to Mexico and learn how to make tortillas properly, learn how to make mole properly, learn how to make rice properly. They take it back to like Seattle, and they make these bomb ass like dank ass tacos. And then they're like, "Fuck you! You're not Mexican. This is cultural appropriation. It's cultural appreciation."
Yeah.
If she can make some dank ass food consistently, these two women can make consistently dank ass food every single time, and I'm gonna want to go back.
That's what America needs.
Yeah,
more people where it's not downgraded, but go in and embrace it and learn about it.
Yeah, and there was this really interesting guy, right, who was talking about the difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. It's like my grandfather can make some of the most amazing Asian inspired or Korean noodles you'll ever get, right? He'll make the best, and there may be one day when it's not perfect, but it's perfect, you know, because like grandpa wasn't feeling too good, so it's not perfect, but it's perfect. He goes, but then you have a white person or a person who's not Korean, consistently making it substandard each time and downgrading it each time. That's cultural appropriation. When you can go in and you can at least try each time to make it perfect, make it amazing, make it taste good, that's cultural appreciation. There's a difference, right?
I see appropriation as, oh man, I like what you're doing.
Assimilation,
I'm taking that and making it mine, but not giving you no credit.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you write an essay in school, it's like you got to cite your sources. If you're not citing your sources, you stole that.
Well, the thing is like, okay, so so we have this young lady, who did something irresponsible, right? And now she's leaning on the same government that she was very critical of. And now we have people who are saying, well, now you were critical of our government, so you don't deserve the same, you don't deserve that same level of like, that same level of work as someone who appreciates the United States. But that's the great thing about the United States, is that everyone deserves it, because at the end of the day, her feet are firmly planted in the United States. She is part of the culture. Yeah. And although there may be a lot of arguments of why the WNBA doesn't make as much money as the NBA, and a lot of that has to do with, you know, not having ticket sales, being
revenue not even close.
Yeah, all revenue not hitting standards that you know, and the NBA can hit. Being subsidized by the NBA doesn't help. You know, also knowing that it's the WNBA, so you're putting aspects on it that leave it to own, like you're leaving us, like it's funny. It's the thing between, there's no difference between a pink Gillette and a blue Gillette, right? There's no difference.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I'm just saying.
I've seen a post where it's like, oh, if you're in the WNBA, not just be in the
regular
regular NBA.
No. This is what I'm saying. There's no difference between like a pink Gillette and a blue Gillette, right? There's no difference between that, right? But there are differences between the way that the NBA is played and the way the WNBA is played, right? Yeah. So you can try and square these pegs and say, oh well, you can just transfer to the NBA. But there's rules differences. There's a way that they play. There's a lot of differences, you know. And if a woman can go in there and really cut it up with the guys, and is
all power to it.
Yeah, but if there's a place where you can feel validated and work well with your team, then that's great too. You're wanting things to be, you want, like, the thing that frustrates me as someone who's getting older is forcing validation for things that you aren't particularly good at. And it doesn't mean that you're not good at it in a like if I go out and try and make a 5-star restaurant style food and it comes out tasting completely off, I can't ask for the same validation, right? I can't be petulant and angry and push people to say, no, this, he put his heart and soul into this particular dish, and it deserves to be 5-star. It has to hit every component. It has to be appealing to the eyes. It has to be taste well. It has to be plated correctly. It has to have the right flavors. It has to have the right, spice content. And that's the same thing. Like, I'm trying to put this in aspects where I can understand. When women go into sports, they're working with that same element. You have to hit all these necessary things that are going to be hard.
That's the whole money thing. Like, I don't understand. Okay, the WNBA only made $8 million.
Yeah.
But the beauty industry made billions.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to bump that up is y'all put y'all's money into this. Like, the same way you put money in other stuff, you got to get more people into y'all sport for it to grow.
But you also have to understand the difference between, like, that's the same thing with men and women, with men and men though. Like, yeah. I don't like sports.
Yeah.
The last time I legitimately got into sports was when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Larry Bird and Luke Longley and all these guys, that was like what, 96, 97?
Yeah.
That's almost 27 years ago, 26 years ago that I was into sports. I liked the Green Bay Packers back in the 90s. I watched the Super Bowl. I watched one game of the NBA Finals. They're not getting my money.
No.
They're not.
But you know who they are getting?
Yeah.
It all goes back to business. Michael Jordan. The NBA was damn near dead. Like, between Magic and Bird, when they saved the NBA, when Michael Jordan came on the scene, completely changed the game.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't about the team anymore. Like, nobody really.
It was about the individual.
It's more about individuals
but
now.
it was also the great thing the one thing that Michael Jordan did revolutionize was the individual being able to make sales.
That swag. He brought swag to the NBA.
Well, they always want to ask, like, who's better, Michael Jordan or what is it? Like, give me those two other guys' names. I can't think of it right now because
it's only one other guy.
It's Kobe
King,
Bryant.
What?
Yeah.
King James, man. LeBron James.
So LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, right? But what I'm trying to say is that without let's even just say without Larry Bird, without Larry
Magic Johnson.
But just wait, without Larry Bird sinking threes on a McDonald's commercial, these guys would never, like, there wouldn't be a Shaq shoe at Walmart.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be, there wouldn't be a 2K without these guys, right? There wouldn't be. These guys essentially made it capable for them to essentially sell themselves as an industry.
That's why NBA makes way more money than the NFL.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a helmet on, so we see your face.
Yeah.
We see everything you're wearing. You can sell your shoes. You can sell any accessory.
And on top of that, man, like, it's fast paced. It's moving. It's fun.
Anybody can play.
Anybody can play. Yeah. And the thing is like, when it comes to basketball, you can get out there. You can sweat. You can have fun. You hear even if you're benching, there's still like, I'm a fat dude, man. I benched for a couple of games, but you know what's fun about it is I never felt outcasted for being benched. I felt like part of the team because I got to cheer it on. I got to you got to be a part of the team. Like with football, there's like a little bit of like kind of this weird sensibility, like when you're benched as a football player. There's like this, like, you don't feel like, I didn't particularly feel like a part of the team. Even
traditionally football, like, the bench is even farther from the field, whereas basketball, you're right on the court.
You're right on the court, yeah.
Even if you're not playing, you're right on the court. You're still there.
Yeah, you're throwing the towel down. You're in with you're on the ground. You're watching the plays. You're cheering. You're just as excited. When it comes to football, you're just kind of staring down at the floor. You're staring down at the grass. You're not really paying attention. Maybe you're over here. Maybe y'all two are chatting. Like, you'll see that on the sidelines at any football game. You'll see, like, these two guys chatting. They're not really paying attention to the game. But, like, you watch basketball and, like, maybe they got their 2 cents. Maybe they want to say something. Maybe they just want to cheer somebody on. Mm-hmm. I think that it's an important aspect of keeping why basketball is, like, one of the sports that brings in so much revenue. And like you said, these same people have to bring that same energy consistently to the NBA. And I don't think I don't think we should compare the makeup industry to the WNBA because it's all about niche marketing, right? And I'm not saying that WNBA players don't wear makeup, but what I am saying is that if you want that same consistency, if you want these women to then do it properly. Show these women how to market themselves correctly. Show these women how important marketing is.
They're just now getting their first signature shoes. Like, this player has this shoe.
That's 30 years too late.
Yeah, you're just now trying to catch up, which you'll never catch up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's 30 years too late. Well, Michael Jordan's shoes have to at least be 29 years old, right?
Michael Jordan has 10 shoes come out every year. Same shoes, different colors.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna eat them up all the same.
Shaq has shoes at Walmart.
Shaq, Kobe, LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron, they all got, the thing is like, and I can honestly say I don't think I've particularly seen one WNBA. I think I saw UPS do something for the WNBA.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think I've ever particularly seen like McDonald's or Burger King do anything for the WNBA.
And they got some good players.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying they don't.
Which is even crazier. I never understood this about the whole idea of the WNBA. Mm-hmm. The average man, skill level wise, size wise, you're probably more similar to them than to these guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, what is it like? Most of those guys are like 6'9".
Yeah, that's what makes Steph Curry like so special and so obtainable. He's 6'2". That's super short by NBA standards, but you can see an average guy be 6'2". He's not super strong. He's not. There's nothing physically imposing about Steph Curry. I heard somebody say Steph Curry is not the guy you'll call to help move a couch, and I agree. You wouldn't call him, but anybody can shoot.
So, when it comes to this, I don't think that she deserves to rot in a Russian prison. I also don't think that I don't think that the particular person that they're wanting to trade for Britney is equal in comparison. The man that they want to trade for him was known as the Merchant of Death.
Man, put it in the ESPN trade machine. We ain't going for it. We need more.
Well, the thing is like the man that they're asking for was a person who they called the Merchant of Death.
Nah.
He was selling weapons on the black market. That's who they're wanting to. That's who we're discussing trading.
Why do you want him back?
Well, no. The Russians want him. The Russians want him because he's the Merchant of Death. So they want him. He's here on foreign soil in a United States prison, and we got one of our people over there in a Russian prison. So we're talking about swapping him.
That's what they should ask the U.S. Like, you're giving us a WNBA player back. We're giving you a merchant that's gonna get you a bunch of guns.
Yeah.
Don't seem like an even trade. We need more from you.
Well, and I think that we're also asking for a U.S. Marine on top of Britney.
There we go. We need some more picks in there. We need some more players. We need this trade balanced out.
You just turned on the ESPN.
ESPN,
the Ocho?
Yeah, they got the little trade machine. This works, this don't work. We need more.
ESPN Ocho doing trade commissions for prisoner swaps on the.
That's what they sent Dennis Rodman over for.
Yeah, that's too funny, man. Dennis Rodman's a trip. He's been to North Korea. He's been chopping it up with Kim Jong-un. And just having the time of his life, eating expensive cheeses and expensive cheese.
He's that open-minded guy that he can just blend in with any culture anywhere.
Well, the thing is that it's easy for these men to blend in. Like you said, they're in industry. Kim Jong Un is probably about 38 or 39, so he's in the same thing as I was. Like, he remembers the Dream Team. He remembers, what was that called? That Looney Tunes movie?
Space Jam.
That's his childhood.
Yeah.
Those men are.
Those are big things.
Those men are gods to him. Those men are they built his childhood. Even if he didn't quite have the same upbringing as the average American,
he knew about it.
He knew about it because of his political standing in Korea. He was able to get the things that most Koreans probably don't even know or care about. He was able to indulge in. So it's a lot of like U.S. media, U.S. Culture that he basically tells everybody else not to indulge in. He was indulging in freely. So of course he likes, Scotty. I mean, he likes Dennis Rodman. He likes the '96 Bulls. He likes, expensive food. He likes, this is essentially who he is. And I think the last thing we were gonna kind of like touch on was what was it? We were gonna talk about just your podcast in general, man. Like I think we can tie that in with this. So you're doing a podcast. Is it similar to what we did today?
Yeah, a whole lot of just just sport takes and things I think about it. Just any pretty major news and just anything I really want to talk about. I just do it just because.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the way I feel this is, man. What do you think about the studio?
I love it, man. It looks good in here.
Yeah, man. We love to have people in the studio, man. We're just so excited for it. And, yeah, man, I mean, it feels like one of those things where we're only looking up, man. And we want people to feel like they're welcome. They can come in anytime they want. So I want you back, man. I want you here consistently because I think this is a great conversation. I think that we're going to get in a lot of trouble for talking about men being men and women being women, and you're definitely gonna get some flack for liking Kevin Samuels, but you know what, man?
You can learn anything from a fool. So if you Andrew, a fool gonna teach you something good or bad, you can learn something from him. So
that's too funny, man.
Kevin Samuels, he says wall to wall stuff, but I did like something. But Andrew Tate, he has some good stuff to say sometimes.
I think that what it is it's easy to criticize somebody when you don't have their same political leaning. And I think that there's a real issue, like a lot of these dividing lines are honestly just they're not real. You know, there's so much more things we have in common than things we don't. So, you know, I like you were talking about things as in like, how would I say this? People not watching the WNBA, but I know I've heard of a handful of men being like, well, when there's no sports on, I'm watching the WNBA.
More men watch the WNBA than women.
Yeah, that's what he says. Like, I'm watching it. He goes, and I can name these women. I can say how good they are. I can spit out their stats.
Sue Bird, Donna Taurasi, Candace Parker, they're good.
Yeah.
Just, they got to learn, like I said, they got to get more of their niche demographic into it.
Well, the thing is that you also have to, the one thing I can say about women's soccer is they're good at marketing.
Yeah.
They may not make as much. I don't know if they make equal or the same amount as the WNBA. I don't know where their standing is on that. I know that they're making equal pay to men in certain aspects of it. But their ability to market... I've
probably seen the U.S. women's soccer team more than the men. Like, you can actually know who they are.
Yeah. The only thing that keeps me from... I don't know any other names, but I know that there's a Premier League in Austin, but I ain't never been. But I do know that... I don't know their names because I'm not into sports. So don't go off of me as an indicator of how important or how unimportant or important a soccer player is. I just don't particularly get into sports.
Oh yeah, I'm not big in soccer either, but they're on TV.
But that's what I'm saying. Just sports in general. But like the person with the pinkish color hair. I mean, she's advocating
marketing. You may not know her name, but you know that look.
Yeah. She's got short, blondish, pink-colored hair. She's advocating for women's equal pay in soccer. You know, she's having fun on certain morning shows and talking about how important it is to get them together so that they can fight for equal pay. You know, and that's important too. Like you said,
she's married to a WNBA player.
Let's see. You're both listening and talking to us, but yeah. So I mean, like that's one of those things. Is just kind of strange, man. Like you know, like you said, I know her look. You know the fact that she's like with a WNBA player.
Yeah.
So in essence, man, then I'm sorry, but you're in the perfect position. Your bedfellow is a marketing genius. Lean on her. Say, hey, wife. Should
I get a haircut? Should I get what I need to do?
Kind of tell me, because like if we are going to talk about building generational wealth, then what's the best way to build generational wealth than the person sitting next to you, the person you love, literally telling you this is how soccer did it. We fought nail and tooth. Let's get together. Let's and I think that's a real problem of with any industry, right? Is that you'll have this problem of people not working well together, right? They don't work well together. So maybe she could feel well, your industry isn't the same as mine, but it's still sports. I think that they have a lot to teach each other.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could be completely wrong. Maybe they don't make the same amount of money, but I know that they did fight for equal pay, and I think they got it. I think the soccer team.
Yeah, or at least they narrow that gap.
Narrow that gap.
They have a good case of, they probably do make just as much money as the men do.
Well, I think that in America, probably.
In America, definitely.
Yeah, in America, definitely. I would feel like. I think that there's this kind of funny industry. There's this industry in Austin where Austin has to feel kind of. They have to feel a little bit like. This sounds completely ignorant, but I'm an ignorant person, so I'm gonna say some ignorant shit. But the reason people go to Austin Premier League is because they can feel superior.
They pay people to go to those games.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't nobody going to that.
Yeah. And so it's just like, would I rather go to what's that hockey team, the Bats? What's that?
They got the what are they?
They got it just right there in Austin.
Are they the Stars?
Yeah, the Stars. Would I rather go to a Stars game, or would I rather go to Premier Soccer? Should I rather go to a Stars game?
I've been to two.
Would I rather go to Round Rock Express game? Or would I rather go to Premier League? I'd rather go to Round Rock. I've been to like 5 or 6 Round Rock Express games. They're fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Got the fireworks.
Yeah,
you know, you go out and have a good time.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not that I don't particularly like soccer. I just don't know soccer. I know baseball.
Yeah.
You know? I like it. And it goes by so fast. It's so sad, man. You sit down in those seats. You're watching baseball on TV. It's a lifetime. It's a commitment. You got to sit down. You got to enjoy it. You got to really like baseball. But you sit down at a baseball game. I've been to a major league game too. I went to a Red Sox game. I think it was Atlanta Braves. I went to a Braves game. I went to an Atlanta Braves game. I felt like I was there for 30 minutes.
Now, I will say, soccer, I would probably also rather go to, a Taylor Duck soccer game than the Austin FC one.
Why is that though?
Just because I think it's more entertaining. Like, it's something about the amateur game where it's like, more things happen.
Yeah, and it almost feels like if I'm paying you even $100,000 or let's say $65,000, you don't really want to hurt yourself, right? Yeah. You're an industry.
You ain't gonna dive. You ain't gonna do all that extra stuff.
You got a 9-to-5er working at Best Buy or Walmart, and they're diving for that. They're kicking people in the shins.
Yeah,
they're going for it.
It's
the same thing with having just fun playing a regular football game just with one of your friends. Yeah. It's just like there's something a little extra about it.
Like right now, I would never play a tackle football game. I play flag or twin touch because I'm my own personal industry in my own home. Exactly. I gotta go to work.
Exactly. You're an industry in your own home. I love that. It's the truth though, right? You're an industry in your own home. I ain't about. You know what needs to happen more is that we need to get kickball together. And we need to get dodgeball, man. I would love to get some dodgeball together.
Man, that get people hurt right there.
Yeah, dodgeball or volleyball, man. I remember back in the 2000s when you were like 11.
Shit, 2000. I was barely born.
I'm just talking about 2000 when you were like when you were a kiddo.
I heard about Sonic and
that's
all
what I'm saying.
that.
Sonic volleyball was like you get a Sonic drink, you play volleyball. You were just a kiddo, man.
And now me growing up in that age frame, play Sonic and volleyball? Well, they got cat shit over there and stuff. They don't want y'all to play volleyball.
Well, we took care of it. Like people took care of it. They cleaned it out. Like they made sure there wasn't there wasn't no heroin needles.
See, ain't nobody doing all that now.
Yeah, man, it's so sad, man. Like there's things that like television and like I'm gonna put on my crotchety old man, pick my pants up to my stomach and put on my crotchety old man voice and be like, back in my day we did stuff outside. I think like there's just like I think it'll come because there's more people. Like it's funny, I think the younger people are stepping away from that internet culture because it's boring to them. You know what I mean? Well, it's what your parents did.
If you've been on YouTube since you was 6 months old, there's only so many YouTube videos you can watch.
But
you
the thing
see
is,
them all.
The culture's old.
Yeah.
The culture's your dad's culture.
Yeah.
Facebook is your dad's culture. It's my culture. YouTube, MySpace, boards, stuff like that. The culture's like that's your parents' culture, man. You don't want to do anything with that. That's why you find like a lot of people like in older media. They like vinyl. They like, they dress like it's in the 70s. All these kids, they'll be reading books instead of being on their phone. Like it's because that culture's old, and you're gonna find out that that Netflix is dying because they're appealing to a niche, a smaller and smaller niche, and the culture's dying. And that culture's dying because kids don't want tattoos anymore. We have tattoos.
Yeah.
We're old.
Well, some people, yeah, like
You
again,
know,
go back to your upbringing.
Yeah, they don't want piercings. They don't want alt lifestyle.
The average American, you know, they don't have kids today, 35, 40.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, like, it's not really no need for me to have kids till then. Because, then at that point, I'm ready.
Yeah.
They don't want the struggle of.
There's never a good time, though.
Yeah, never. You'll never be 100% ready. But
time.
In their mind.
Yeah. There's always that thing of like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But there's never a good time for any of that, man. But you know what a good time is? Is the time I had with you on this podcast, man. I appreciate every minute of it, man. I hope to have you back on. You get me back on?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thank you, man. All right, well, this was SUYL. This is my boy, Shawn Pail. Introduce yourself. Tell them the podcast name.
To the podcast. Look for us on YouTube, Spotify.
All right, man. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you coming through.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell them one more time how you feel about the studio.
Hey, come check it out.